We're diving into the frosty world of Frostpunk 2. From city building challenges to navigating political turmoil, let's find out if this sequel is worth your time. In the original Frostpunk, building your city required careful planning, as resources were scattered across the map. It was a complex but rewarding process. Frostpunk 2 takes this concept even further by expanding the scope of city building. Now, it's not just about constructing individual structures, but creating entire districts. This adds a new strategic layer, making you think ahead and plan more intricately. It's a deeper, more engaging experience that tests your city management skills. Frostpunk 2 introduces a new dynamic with the introduction of groups that have conflicting interests. This adds an element of political unrest to the game, as you'll need to navigate these tensions to maintain stability. The main new gameplay mechanic here is the Council. Unlike the first game, where you could enact laws freely, in Frostpunk 2, laws must be voted on by the citizens. This means that your choices aren't entirely your own anymore. You have to negotiate, make promises, and sometimes deal with the consequences if things don't go as planned. Different factions within the city, like the Frostlanders and New Londoners, have their own values, which influence their votes. You can still sway them to your side, but it's a balancing act. Fail to fulfill promises, and you'll see tension rise, potentially leading to an uprising. This new mechanic doesn't just make the game more challenging, it also adds depth to the story and helps you feel more connected to the city's various factions. Just like the original, Frostpunk 2 is not a cheerful game. It continues to build on the gritty realism that made the first game unique. From children taking to the streets with knives to miners facing life-threatening dangers, the game doesn't shy away from showing the harsh realities of survival. This grim atmosphere is an important aspect of the game, as it immerses you in the struggle and makes your decisions feel weighty and significant. What's interesting is how the sequel offers more potential paths to success than the original. It's a more complex game, with greater strategic freedom. While the first Frostpunk felt like a puzzle you had to solve in a specific way, Frostpunk 2 gives you more options and makes you adapt to different situations. This complexity makes the game feel richer and more engaging, as you have to learn and adjust your strategies as you play. Frostpunk 2 is more accommodating than its predecessor in some ways, but it's not without its challenges. Certain aspects of the game aren't explained very well, which can lead to confusion. For instance, during a task to find a new mining source, the process wasn't clear, and it took some outside help to figure out the solution. Moments like this can make the game feel frustrating, as you're expected to figure things out while the clock is ticking and your citizens' lives are on the line. Another example is the lack of clarity around certain resources, like cores. The game doesn't always explain where to find them or how to use them, which can lead to moments of uncertainty. While this adds to the challenge and realism, it can sometimes feel like you're being left in the dark without enough guidance. Frostpunk 2 builds on the exploration mechanics from the original game. Instead of exploring the same map, the Frostlands are now divided into territories, each with its own set of challenges. Seasoned scouts are needed to venture into the most difficult regions, adding another layer to the gameplay. You also have the option to set up outposts or colonies, each with its own economy and logistics system, which you can connect via railroads for a steady supply of resources. This adds a strategic element that was seen in Frostpunk's On the Edge expansion, but with more depth and complexity in the sequel. Since the release of the original Frostpunk in 2018, the community has been very active, providing feedback and suggestions for improvements. The developers at 11-Bit Studios have listened to this feedback and made several changes in Frostpunk 2. These include reworked regions, new heat-generating hubs, enhanced city administration menus, and the introduction of Zoom stories, which give you a closer look at life in New London and show how your decisions impact the city on a more personal level. Frostpunk 2 takes what made the original game great and builds on it, adding new mechanics, deeper storytelling, and more complex city building. It challenges you to think strategically and make tough decisions while navigating political tensions and managing resources in a harsh, unforgiving world. While it has its share of challenges, particularly in how it explains certain mechanics, the game offers a rich and immersive experience that is worth exploring. If you enjoyed the original Frostpunk or are looking for a city builder with a unique twist, Frostpunk 2 is definitely worth playing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know what you think about Frostpunk 2 in the comments below. See you next time.